So in this episode, we're breaking through the noise and we're going to finally get you seen as the credible authority that you know you are. So you've got big ideas, but no clue how to launch your own show series. Or maybe you've built out a course and you're thinking, well, maybe this could be a show series. Then this episode is made just for you. The problem isn't that you're not posting enough. The problem is that you're posting without a system. What you need is a broadcast branding system that turns your message into a show series that people actually want to watch. Because today's creator world doesn't reward just busy posting anymore. It rewards show creators, the producers who build branded show series that viewers can return to week after week, not because they flood the social feed, but because they build Bingeable branded show series content worth coming back for. So if you have a course or a product, you really need to get into the mindset of building a branded show series around that product. And if you followed me or Expand ITV for a while now, you know that I have been preparing coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs for this exact shift for years. When everyone else was saying, no, streaming is dead, I was saying, no, media is evolving. Because even YouTube is moving towards the living room now, prioritizing its content built for TV screens. It's not the end of streaming. It is the next phase of it. It is actually the evolution of marketing itself. This is what I call broadcast branding, where entrepreneurs and experts don't just post, they produce. They build bingeable show series that create visibility, authority, and trust. And this is exactly why I created Broadcast Your Brand and On Air Academy, to teach personal brands how to set themselves up like media companies so they can actually stay ahead of the curve. And for 2026, the future is here. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Broadcast Your Brand. Today, we're going to start to build your blueprint to broadcast plan, the system that starts to take your idea from your notes to your very first episode that people will actually enjoy watching. And here's the fun part. Our free signature show series starter toolkit. Just hit the link below and get your free copy. So in this episode, we're breaking through the noise and we're going to finally get you seen as the credible authority that you know you are. We will lock down the 3 things that every successful creator figures out first and fast: your posting schedule, your show format, and your show name. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how often you're publishing, what to call your show, and how to show up consistently without burning out. So you're ready to hit the ground running as we start 2026. Okay, here we go. Step 1, forget the old post more often advice. Your media authority growth doesn't come from volume. It used to come from volume, but now it comes from structure. The real question isn't how often you're posting. It's about how comfortably you can plan, record, edit, and promote a finished episode. Maybe that's once a week. Maybe it's every other week. What matters is the consistency that your audience can count on, because nothing builds media authority faster than predictability. Now, ask yourself honestly, how often can I really comfortably record, edit, publish, and promote an episode? Because publishing isn't just about hitting upload and that being the end of it. You record, you edit, maybe add music, visuals, graphics, slides. You write the description, you design the thumbnail, you upload to YouTube, and then it keeps going. We use tools like Opus Clip to cut each episode into shorter videos for social media, usually starting with about 3 when we upload a new episode. And when you get down to it, those really need their own posting plan. 2 weeks later, we often drop a couple of more short clips that point back to the same full episode that we just released 2 weeks ago. And then next comes the promotion for each episode. The graphics for Facebook, different layouts for Instagram or LinkedIn with captions and descriptions written for each specific audience. So there's a lot more to media publishing than just uploading. Now, when you're starting out, Your goal is not to do everything at once, but you do need to understand the full workflow that is involved so you can plan what will be realistic and comfortable for you. Okay, so now you launch with 3 episodes and then with 1 full episode per week. This system is manageable, it builds momentum, and it teaches you the rhythm of putting out a real show series. And once you have that rhythm locked down, you can layer in the extras, the shorts, the promo graphics, the social media posts without drowning in it. Okay, so step 2, you pick your show series format. The format of a show series shapes your rhythm. It shapes your energy and even the kind of audience that tunes in. But don't let that pressure you. This isn't forever. Think of your first format as a pilot season on Netflix. You're testing what works, what feels natural, and what your audience responds to. This isn't a marriage. You're just dating your format. Each style format has its own strengths and weaknesses, so let's find out what fits you best. There are actually 5 primary ways to structure your show series format. And the first one I'm going to cover is a demo format. Now, if you're a plumber and you're wanting to show someone how to fix a hot water tank and there's a control board on the hot water tank, what you're wanting to do is to make sure that in a demo format, you're showing the long shot, which would be the full hot water tank, and then your medium shot, the control panel. So you're wanting to show the relation of where someone is supposed to go. And then you want to show the close-up of the control panel. You don't want to start out with just shooting the close-up of the control panel because the first question a lot of viewers are going to have is, where's that located? So you always want to keep this in mind for demo formats. You want to have a long shot, a medium shot of where they're going, and then the close-up shot to where they end up, where you're actually working on something. So our next show series format is the solo show. This is the talking head. I am talking to you. So this is just you, your ideas, your stories, your teaching. If you love exploring your favorite topics or walking people through frameworks or teaching something that you've mastered, this format puts you in full control. It's especially great for course creators, coaches, consultants, and educators. Anyone who already has a process, a program, or a system they want to be known for. You can build out full video lessons that later repurpose beautifully into online courses, lead magnets, or modules inside your membership. Memberships are very popular right now. This also works well for motivational or personal development content, where storytelling and connection drive trust. It's the easiest to start because you have no guests to schedule, no waiting on anyone else. You record when you're ready. But remember, it is also all on you. When your energy drops, your audience feels it. So pace yourself, batch record when you can, and plan to take rest cycles. So my pro tip for doing solo shows is to treat every solo episode like a mini workshop. You have your hook, your story, lesson, and then action steps. That rhythm keeps your content engaging and easy to repurpose later. Okay, so next, show format, the guest interview. This is where you bring in guests, authors, industry leaders, even clients to share new perspectives. This is ideal if you love having meaningful conversations. This works out really well if you're doing like a podcast. So you're learning from others and building relationships while you grow your branded show series. Every guest you feature expands your audience, your credibility, and your reach because they're bringing in their audience. You're sharing your audience with them. It's cross-promotional. But here's the key. Interviewing is a skill. Great interviewers listen more than they talk, and they need to make a guest feel seen. They need to ask questions that others don't, and they need to create moments that viewers remember. So there's a whole little ecosystem that is going on that you need to think about, that you don't have to think about when you're doing a solo show. Now, this interviewing ability, it doesn't just make you a better host, it also makes you better everywhere else too. In business, in collaborations, in the way you communicate your brand story. There is also a great skill of being a great interviewed guest, learning how to pivot, hitting your message talking points, and being able to bring a conversation back to what you're wanting to say. That is also a practice skill. That's the media side of this work, and we'll explore this further in upcoming episodes. So the benefits of doing a guest interview are huge. You instantly expand your reach by tapping into your guest audience. You build authority faster, especially when you bring in respected voices onto your platform, and you keep things fresh because every new guest brings new ideas, new chemistry, and new energy. Guest interviews work best for coaches, consultants, and experts who want to network up and build authority through association. The biggest downside is scheduling. Guests reschedule, they cancel, or they show up late. So always have backup content ready to go. And tech rehearsals are essential. So if your show is live, do a rehearsal the day before with your guests. No exceptions. It gives you time to test lighting, sound, slides, the flow, so everyone feels confident when they're coming on the next day. If you're recording, you can ask them to hop on about 15 minutes early for a quick tech check. Test mics, internet speed, and framing before you actually start rolling. And if you're using platforms like Riverside, remind guests not to close their browsers until uploading finishes. I actually had this happen to me one time. The guest started talking to me right after we recorded, and I forgot to hit the stop button. He closed out and left before I was able to upload anything. So I've actually done this. Now, if you love big energy and multiple perspectives, a panel format may be for you. Multiple voices, one conversation. It's lively, unpredictable, and full of chemistry when it's done right. Panels are perfect for community-driven shows or leaders who love hearing different perspectives. You'll see this style thrive in wellness and leadership, news, and creative spaces. The beauty of a panel is the energy. The back and forth banter keeps viewers engaged and makes your episode feel alive and fresh. But the energy without structure can quickly turn into chaos, so every panel needs a plan. So why do panels work? Panels keep your content fresh and dynamic. Each guest shares the workload of the conversation and brings their own audience. Viewers get a mix of opinions, stories, and personalities that diversity keeps them watching. Now, what you want to watch out for in panels is with every extra person, the coordination gets trickier. Schedules, tech, personalities. Without clear moderation, things can go off track fast. And yes, every guest still needs to have a rehearsal. Check microphones, internet, and the overall flow before showtime. If you can, bring in a producer. A good producer will handle the live chat, the phone lines, run slides, cue music, and graphics, and let your guest in from the virtual green room, while all you have to do is focus on hosting and conversation while they're watching the sound, the tech, the timing, everything in the background. And the rehearsal isn't just for live broadcast with a panel. Even for pre-recorded shows, do a full run-through the day before with everyone, producer included, setting up cameras, lighting, and connections, because this always takes longer than you expect, and that prep is what keeps your show professional. Now, if you like all of these ideas, you'll love the hybrid format. This is where you mix things up, solo one week, an interview the next, and maybe a panel show once a month. It keeps your creative energy high and gives your audience variety without losing focus. Hybrid shows work great for multi-passionate entrepreneurs, small media teams, or brands that grow and change with the season. What makes it powerful is that you can pivot your content anytime to match your schedule, your mood, or what's happening in your industry. It also prevents burnout and keeps your show series feeling fresh. The challenges for a hybrid show format is that it takes a lot of organization, so you'll need to keep a clear content calendar and consistent branding so that your viewers always know what to expect. The episode run sheet planner inside the free toolkit that's linked below will help you manage timing, Q&A segments, and visuals for each episode. It keeps everyone, host, guest, panelist, and tech crew on the same page. Build this habit now and you'll set a professional standard from day one. And remember, your format isn't forever. You need to test different styles for about 10 episodes, gather the feedback, refine your workflow, and then lock in the version that feels effortless. So whether you go solo or bring in guests, run a panel, or mix them all together, the key is structure. Structure builds confidence, confidence builds consistency, and that consistency is what turns your content into a show series. Next, we'll take that show series structure and give it a name, literally. All right. Now, this is really fun. Naming your show. Your show name is your brand identity on screen. It's what people remember when they tell a friend, oh, you got to watch this new show. And the truth is, you don't need to overcomplicate it. The best names are simple, clear, and instantly tell viewers what your show is about. There is a 4-step naming framework formula for naming a show series. First, you want to make it clear, not clever. People should understand what your show is about in the first 3 seconds or less. If they have to think about it, you've already lost them. When you say the name aloud, welcome to the blank show. If it lands smoothly and you don't have to explain it, you're golden. Clarity always beats cleverness. You want your title to attract attention, not confusion. Now, anchor that show series to your audience. A great show name should either call in your viewers or capture the promise of your brand. In other words, it tells your audience 2 things right away. This show is made for you, and here's what you'll get out of it. A strong name will answer the silent question, what's in it for me? Okay, let's build out a couple of examples. Okay, for coaches and educators, you're often teaching, inspiring, guiding transformation. So words that sound like growth, breakthrough, or clarity. Some examples of this might be the mind shift game. It signals mental transformation and playfulness. Coach Camp feels like a community, training, or program. Broadcast Your Brand invites action and visibility. Each one answers, what will I get? Growth, mastery, or momentum. So some names for creatives or artists would be words that respond to emotion and imagination. Use words that feel expressive, visual, and alive. Examples of this would be the creative shift, art unleashed. That feels powerful and freeing. These names speak directly to the creative spirit. They say, you're safe here to explore and express yourself. Now, for entrepreneurs and business builders, your audience tends to connect with results, systems, and success language. Use words that imply strategy, structure, or momentum. Some examples of this would be build it better, or the authority engine, or my personal favorite, the profit edge. So focus on transformation with measurable impact. These names signal credibility, growth, and result. Now, let's consider your long-term vision for your name. If you're the face of the brand, you might want your name front and center, The Camille Garick Show, or On Air with Camille. It builds personal authority and trust, especially for coaches, creators, or thought leaders. But if your goal is to build a brand that can expand, maybe license or franchise, or may feature other hosts in the future, like if you were to sell your show, then you want to use a brandable concept instead. Broadcast Your Brand works whether I'm hosting it or someone else is hosting it. Sometimes the perfect balance is a hybrid name, a strong show title plus your name, like Wellness 360 with Carmen Milagro, or The Mind Shift Game with Rocio Perez. This approach builds both brand clarity and personal authority. Use this version if you already have an audience or if it's part of your story. Okay, so when should you skip your name? If you're creating a brand first show, skip the name line. If you're not yet known in your niche, you'll want to lead with keywords that viewers are searching for instead. And the data backs this up. Shows with short descriptive titles rank higher and convert faster because they're easier to find and remember. Research shows that hosts whose names are already well known can benefit from including their name in their title for recognition, of course. But most creators, the focus should be on what the show delivers rather than the host name. Titles that are clear, descriptive, and short and searchable perform better. Descriptive keywords are more important than cleverness. The title should assure the visitor that they're in the right place. and the name must signal value and relevance quickly. So why does all of this matter? When your audience sees your title, they should immediately think, that's exactly what I've been looking for. Great names just don't sound good. They speak the language of your audience. This tells potential viewers, this show understands my world and gets me. So whether your promise is growth, creativity, clarity, or profit, your show name should make people feel that outcome. Now, here's the final test. Keep it memorable and searchable. Can people remember it, spell it, and find it? Your show name should roll off the tongue. If it's hard to say, it'll be hard to search. Aim for under 5 words or around 20 characters when possible, but don't force this. If your perfect name needs an extra word or two for clarity, that's okay as long as it still sounds natural. The key is it easy to spell, say, or search? Now, check that it's available everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, podcast directories, and domain names if you plan to expand. Say it out loud and test it with a few people in your audience. So now, your homework. Write down 3 potential show names and test them out loud. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited and welcome you to the Profit Edge because whichever one feels natural and makes you smile, that's your show. Remember, your show name is more than just a title. It's your first impression, your promise, and your positioning. Keep it simple, keep it strong, and make sure it speaks to the transformation that you want to be known for. All right, now you picked your format, named your show, and have set your posting rhythm. You're already ahead of 90% of the creators out there, but now it's time to take that vision and build out the show itself. In our next episode of Broadcast Your Brand, we'll map out your first 3 binge-worthy episodes and walk you through what are the best platforms to publish on so that your content actually finds the right audience. So grab your free toolkit in the description, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, don't just talk or post about your brand in your own social media feed. Broadcast your brand.